So 4.4 is our topic today. Write this down. Yeah, 4.4. Graphing. So notice we haven't gone over 4.4, have we? But we're kind of switching these around so that it makes sense for you more. Graphing lines using intercepts. When we say intercepts, this time, remember we talked about slope-intercept form? When I say slope-intercept form, I'm talking about which intercept only? Y-intercept. When I say intercepts, notice it's plural. We're going to talk about X-intercept and Y-intercept. Can I just write INT for intercept? Okay, and then Y-intercept. So we're going to use these intercepts to graph. Okay, so that's what our topic, and that's what we're trying to do today. Okay, so first of all, we need to know what they are. So this is kind of, everyone should know, what's an X-intercept, by the way? So let's say that I have a line that looks like this. Here's my line. Does anybody see, this is X-axis, Y-axis. Okay, there's my line. Yeah, go ahead and draw. It doesn't have to be really perfect or anything like that. It just, because I just want to explain what an X-intercept is. Who thinks they know where the X-intercept is? Let me, no, number one, this is 2. 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Here's 3. Okay. Can somebody tell me what the X-intercept for this line is? Give work. 2. It's very good. It's 2. What about Y-intercept for this one? How about? Yes, sir. 3. 3. Very good. Now, how were they able to get the X and Y-intercept so quickly? And what do they describe when we say X-intercept? First of all, let's talk about X-intercept because we haven't talked about that one too much. Yeah?
The X-intercept is where like the line crosses through the X-axis.
Exactly. X-intercept is nothing more than where the line hits the X-axis. That's it. That's why it's called X-intercept. You know, intercept means something, right? They intersect. Intercepts. Yeah. Yeah. So these are called intercepts. But this is where the line intersects, right? Okay, what about Y-intercept? Where is the Y-intercept? It's where the, yes sir?
Where the line hits the line.
Yeah, it's where the line hits the Y-axis. That's why it's called the Y-intercept. Does that make sense? Okay, why are we talking over here?
I'm sorry.
You're okay. All right, good. So do you understand when I say, so how do you think we're going to graph this line? Now, we know so far 2 ways of graphing. First method was doing a table. You guys remember doing a table? You plug in -1, 0, 1, right? Of course, you have to make it into a function form first, right? Which is called slope-intercept form. Second way of graphing is using the slope-intercept form, right? You guys remember this? Now, this is our third method. Third way is called using intercepts. Does that make sense? Any question? There's one nice thing about using intercepts. You don't have to make it into function form. Yeah. But, you know what? We should just keep it. Okay, let's just all make it into function form. Make it into function. Anyway, but we'll talk about that a little later. So, let me show you how to do this. Any questions so far? So, do we know how to graph line using tables? Do we know how to graph line using Y-intercept form?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we're going to use this method. So, let's write this down. Example 1. By the way, before I get to example 1, I almost forgot. What is the order pair for the X-intercept? You see my X-intercept? What is the order pair? So I know the X-intercept is 2, but if somebody asks, what's the order pair for the X-intercept, what would you write? Let me move this. Oops. Move this to the right a little bit. What's the order pair for the X-intercept? Something, comma, something. 1, 2, people see what that is. 3, 4, 5. Everyone should know. Look at my X-intercept. What is the order pair? How about Sydney?
2, 0.
2, 0. How many people agree? Very good. What about for the Y-intercept? Who can tell me what the order pair for the Y-intercept? Celine? 0, comma 3. Anybody see anything interesting? Yeah, both have zeros, but for x-intercept, which one is 0? Y is, of course, because we're looking for the x-axis, right? And what about for y-intercept? X is 0, y. Let's see if you can understand. Y is for, let's look at x-intercept first. That's kind of interesting. How come they both have zeros in them? And for x-intercept, why is the y-intercept? Why is the y coordinate 0? 1, 2, 3. Do you understand my question?
No.
Okay, my question is, for the x-intercept, right? Why is the y coordinate 0? It turns out it's always like this for x-intercept. For every x-intercept you find, y-intercept is always 0. I mean, not y-intercept. Y coordinate is always 0. Why? Yes, sir?
Because the point is right on the thing. Like
Exactly. If you want the points to be on the x-axis, can it have any height? Or can it go up and down at all? No, because as soon as you go up and down, would it be on the x-axis? No. So write this down. Okay, well, what about y? Y is then, does that make sense, Hasten?
Yeah.
Do you see why it's 2, 0? Because if it's like 2, 1, of course it's not going to be on the x-axis, right? In order for the point to be on the x-axis, the y coordinate must be 0. What about for the y? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Why is the x coordinate 0 for?
When you plot, it can't like have any like.
Yeah, you can go left or right. Because if you go left or right a little bit, like even if it's 1.1 comma 3, would it be on the y-axis? No. In order for the points to be on the y-axis, Sophia, what must be 0? Which coordinate must be 0? Look at this point for the y-intercept. You see my y-intercept is 3, right? That's where the line hits the y-axis. Isn't it 0 comma 3? Why is the x-coordinate of this y-intercept 0? Because in order for the points to be on the y-axis, guess what? Can you move left or right at all? No. If you go left or right, because that's what the x-coordinate tells you, you will not be on the y-axis. Does that make sense? Dia, can you turn around? Yeah. Okay, so write this down. Fact. Okay. For the x-intercept, the order pair for x-intercept must have zero for which coordinate? Y coordinate. Do it. What's the second fact? Another fact. The order pair for y-intercept. Can I just write int? Must have what? 0, 4. Which coordinate? X coordinate. Does that make sense? For the x-intercept and for the y-intercept is 0 for x. Anybody have a question? Yes, sir.
this is in fact the order here for x intercept must have 0 for what?
Y coordinate. Yeah.
Is that a plus after the?
No, it's just star. So it's kind of hard to see what it is, right? If I write it in words like this, it's kind of confusing. So let's just write it down. X-intercept. What does it have to look like? Let me call it x-intercept as A. If my x-intercept is A instead of 2, okay, what must it look like? Hello? You know what I'm talking about? So instead of 2, if my x-intercept is A, yes, it has to look like A, comma?
0.
Very good. So this is what you will need. I don't like this. I like this better. And then what about for y-intercept? If my y-intercept, what letter should I use for y-intercept, by the way? B. Do you see why when you do the slope-intercept form, y equals to mx plus? B. B represents the? Which one? Y-intercept. So what's the order pair for y? Yeah. 0, comma B. Very good. Any question? You see? Do you see how for x-intercept the y has to be 0, for the y-intercept x has to be 0? Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? It has to look this way. Otherwise, it will not be on the y-axis or x-axis. Yes? Hello? Anybody?
Yes.
Yes? Did we get this? Yes? All right.
Yes.
Because if you know this, if you know it, then this third method of graphing is really, 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 really easy. Really easy. Okay, so let's look at, I mean, the easiest way to graph is using slope-intercept form, but if they ask you to use the intercepts, then you got to do it this way, okay? Because you have to understand the concept of what intercepts are. All right, so example 1. We're now finally ready for example 1. It looks like this. It's going to say find the x-intercept and y-intercept of the line 2x plus 3y equals to 6. Okay? Okay, so on your homework or on your quiz or on a test, it'll say something like this. And you say, well, how do I do that? Right? Write it down. How am I going to find the x and the y-intercept of this line? Anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, some of you have an idea. Let's look at the x-intercept first. How do I find the x-intercept? Yeah.
You have to put 0 in for y.
Oh, how do you know? How do you know that you got to plug in 0 for y if you don't find the
Because for the x, when you're for the x coordinates, the y intercept.
Yeah, I just told you. For the x-intercept, it's going to be something, comma, 0, right? What's that something? Let's use the letter A. So let's plug in for x-intercept. We're going to plug in A, comma, 0 to this equation. Does that make sense? What happens when I plug in A, comma, 0? Do we know how to plug in? What do you have to plug in when you use variables? When you plug in variables, you need to use? Well, this time I'm gonna find A, right? So this is your x coordinate, this is your y coordinate. So in place of x and y, 2 times something. Remember I told you to use what when you plug it in? Parentheses. What goes in here, guys? A. This is what we're looking for, isn't that right? What goes in here? 0. I know that B has, the Y has, not B, Y has to be 0. Does that make sense? Julia, do you get that? Okay, so what do I get, Julia? When I plug in A equals to 0, when I plug in X for A and 0 for B, so you see how I have A and 0 right here? What do I get, Julia? Good, 2A. Do you see why it's nice? Because when you plug in 0, isn't that like 0 when you multiply? Plus 0 equals to 6. And that's basically 2A equals to 6. So Julia, what do I do? How do I find A? A is equal to? Well, what do I do to get A by itself? I need to subtract 2. It's 2 times A, isn't it? So I have to divide 2. Very good. So I get A equals to class what? And what does A represent? What's A? Remember, A was your x-intercept. We found the x-intercept. 3. Are we okay? Everybody okay with this?
Are we gonna do that on a test?
Yeah. How do you find the y-intercept then? Yeah, so what's the y-intercept look like? I told you. So today, if you remember this, you're done. What's the y-intercept? It's going to be 0, comma B. You say, does that make sense? So let's plug in 2 something plus 3 times something equals to 6. This time, what do I plug in here? What goes in here?
0.
0 for x. What's your B? B for y. Yes? Y-intercept. Doesn't that B represent the y-intercept? So what do I get? What's 2 times 0? 0 plus 3b equals to 6. And of course, oops. What do I do next? This is simply 3b equals to 6, right? What do I do next, guys? Yeah. Divide by 3. B is equal to 2. So what have we found? The B. The y. What's the B? This is your x-intercept. What's this? Y-intercept. Any question? Is this easy or hard?
Easy.
Now, how do you think people mess this up? There's like one thing that people mess up. Yes.
They plug into the wrong thing.
They put it the wrong thing. What do you mean wrong thing?
Like they put B when it's
Yeah.
on the 2 when it's supposed to be on the 3.
Yeah. So make sure for the x and y intercept, okay. For the x intercept, a is 0. A comma 0 for the y intercept. Because okay, you can think about it this way. How can you not forget? What can you do to remember? So because we're looking for x intercept, what? X is your a. Does that make sense? Because you're looking for y intercept, y is your y coordinate is your b. That's how you could think of it. Because
X comes before Y.
yeah, x goes with a, y goes with b. You know, like in alphabetical order. And then whatever that's left, that's the 0. Does that make sense? Okay, so are we good? Can you all do this yourself? Yeah. Do you want to see even easier way?
Yeah.
Okay, so
why don't you show us that?
I don't know. Oh, because I want you to understand the concept. Okay, example 2. There's even easier way because you could do this with the table so much easier. You could do it all this way. Okay, example 2. Watch this. Let's do the same thing. I'm just gonna say find intercept. Is that okay? Find intercepts. Because if I say intercepts, right? Oops. Intercepts. When I say intercepts with S, how many intercepts are we looking for? 2. And how many? What kinds are there? X intercept and
Y.
Y intercept. I'm not going to say X and Y intercept. I'm just going to say find intercept. Find intercepts of 2 of the equation 2x plus. Wait, this is the same one. Oh, let me start. Let me do a different one. Find the intercept of 3x plus 2y. Hasten, I can hear you. Equals to 12. Okay. If your friend can hear you, I can hear you too. It kind of works both ways. Okay, so do you want me to show you the easier method? So just let's remember, x-intercept is what again?
A.
What comma? A comma 0. Because we're looking for x. Remember, x is goes with the x coordinate. Y-intercept is what again?
0 comma B.
Because y, you know, y goes with the y coordinate. So, question?
Yeah, what does that say? Find intercepts of the EP.
EQ. Equation. Sorry. Equation. Alright, so, by the way, do you think this is important, guys? To remember this? Okay, so you want me to show you an easier way? So there's a nice way to organize this rather than like kind of doing it all differently. You could do it that way, but so what you do is, this is something you've seen before. Have we seen this before, guys? When have we seen this before? Oops. When have we seen this before?
Like 2 lessons ago.
2 lessons ago when we were doing the? When we were doing the?
Function form.
No. No.
I need to draw that grid as part.
This is when we were doing the table. Isn't this how we do the table? We plug in x equals. What's the difference here? We don't write the function form in the middle this time. If I'm just looking for intercept, you don't need to write into function form. You see, that's one nice thing. You could do it, just you don't have to. Does that make sense? It's up to you. So, guess what we're going to use for x? Which x? Yes. A. We're gonna why? Because we're looking for a comma a 0. So I'm going to use a because that's what I'm looking for, right? That's my y-intercept. So I'm going to plug in 3 times something plus 2 times something equals to 12, right? So I'm going to plug in a for x. What about for y? 0. Y 0. Y 0? Hello? Y 0 for y, guys. No one can answer that one? Because, yeah, it's got to be x-intercept, so y must be
0.
0. Does that make sense? So what do we get? 3a equals to 12a is equal to? Divide both sides by 3, I get 4. That's the key, guys. You plug in 0 for y there. Isn't that right? Okay, so a equals 4. What's your order pair? A is 4, so we found it 4 comma 0. Is that okay? Hello? Now for the y-intercept, what am I going to plug in? 0 for what? X. Why?
Because you want to have y
Yeah, so you get 3 times something plus 2 times something equals 12. What goes in here then? 0. What goes in here?
B.
B. See? So what do I get? What's 3 times 0? 0. You get, what's 12 times B? By the way, it's not 12 times 6. Okay, I should write it better. It's like B, not 6. Okay, 2B equals to, divide both sides by, B equals to, what's the order pair, guys?
0, 6.
There you go. 0, 6. It's not B this time, it's 6. How do I? Okay, so,
B.
huh?
How come it's not B?
What? Oh, it's B. B came out to be 6.
Oh, but you put 0. Like 3.
Oh, yeah, I know, because my X has to be 0, right? Right here, right? Right? Put the other one. So I found my A and B, right? What's your A? 4. What's your B?
0.
And then the order pair is 4, 0, 0, 6. Any question? Does this make sense? I got a lot of blank faces and people throwing stuff at other people. That's not good. Any question? Can you do this yourself?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Why? You just have to memorize this. Hasten. X intercept is which? Okay. Do you like first method? How many people like first method better? Raise your hand. Oh, a lot of you. How many people like the second method better? Oh, not too many. Okay, then just do the first method. You get the same answer.
How do you not?
I'm just showing you 2 ways of organizing these things. Okay, that's, yes, sir. You want to go lower? Here? Yeah. Question? What I'm trying to say is the first method or the second method, it doesn't matter which way you do it. It's just a different way of organizing it. Okay, you could do it either way. You get the same answer. Are we ready for the third example? This one I want you to try yourself. Okay, without getting any help. And then we'll go over it together. Is that okay? Try this one yourself. Here's example 3. Example 3. Here we go. How about find the intercepts of... Okay. Shh. Stop talking, guys. Find the intercept of the equation. How about 5x plus 2y equals to 20. Now, one thing we got to remember for today is what? X intercept is again what?
A.
No, A comma what? X intercept.
0.
So that's the thing. If you, that's the main thing we're remembering. X intercept is A comma
0.
0, right? That's important. 0. What about y? Whoops. What am I doing? Okay, y intercept is what? 0 comma B. Remember, y goes with the y coordinate, x goes with the x coordinate. If you can remember this, guys, you're done. Okay, go ahead. Everybody try. I'll give you some time for you to try yourself. You have a question? Yeah, what's your question?
Is this a new lesson or is this different from one?
Yeah, it's a new lesson. It's called 4.4.
Why are they using the same,
Because same idea. That's good. I want you to recognize it's kind of same idea. That's fine. But this is another way of graphing lines. We're not there yet, but we're going to get there. All right, so very good. Now, how many people, since nobody likes my second method, like there's a couple. Yeah, thank you. Let's use these. Okay, let's find the x-intercept first. X-intercept. I'll do method 1, okay? Is A comma 0. Again, it's kind of nice, right? A represents the x-intercept, B represents the y-intercept. You know, like alphabetical order. X comes before y, right? X, Y, A, B. Okay, so let's plug it in. 5 something plus 2 something equals to 20. And just like you mentioned, you gotta plug in this correctly, right? Remember, the first one is the x coordinate. This is the y coordinate. So you think it's a good idea to kind of label these? You think it's a good idea to label these? Yeah, just like when you do slopes. Okay, so what do I plug in here? A. What do I plug in here?
0.
All right. So then, that's why I like plugging 0, because, you know, anything times 0 is 0. So you get 5a, and I'm going to write. Is that okay if I write equals 20? Because 0 plus 5a is, right? 5a. Divide both sides by 5, and you're right. A is equal to 10. We found it. Oh, 4. Whoops. Where did I get 10 from? Oh, I was I was testing you. Okay, so there you go. A equals to 4. Is that my x-intercept? Well, let's do it this way. Now, y-intercept. See, I got my x-intercept on the left, y-intercept on the right, B comma 0. No, oops, that's wrong. Yeah, don't do that. That's how you get it wrong. 0 comma b. 5 something plus 2 something equals to 20. And like I said, nice thing about this, you don't have to write it into function form anymore. Okay. So now, what do I plug in for? 0 here. B. So then I get, what's 5 times 0? 0. 2b here equals to 20. Divide both sides by? B equals to 10. So you're right. Now, part B. We have part B. Did you know we have part B for this?
Part 2, part B.
Example 3, part B. Alright. I'm going to ask you to graph.
Yes.
Using.
They graph the one we just did.
Yeah. That's why it's part B. Graph using. Whoops. How come it's not erasing? It's kind of like, okay, graph using the intercepts. We haven't had this before, but what do you think I mean by this? Graph using intercepts. Oh, Elena?
You use the coordinates you got and then you graph them.
Yes. How do you graph them using intercepts though?
Um,
Which points do we know?
like the 0 and the 4.
Which is called the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Is this easy to graph, guys? Yeah. We know that A is 4, B is 10. What does A represent? A represents the x coordinate, B represents the. So all you have to do is watch this, guys. Watch. Well, I want it like this. Why do you think I graph it like this, guys? We need y goes up to. This is 2. Can I go by 2s if I wanted to? Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And if I go by 2s, do you think I should do the same for x's? Yeah, I should. Same unit represents 2. 4. Here's -2. Okay, now, what do you think I have to do? So I know that A is 4, B is 10. So here's 6. Here's 8. What do I do? Who can tell me? One person? 2? Dia. Give me one of the point. I know that A is 4, B is 10. Now, if I ask you to graph it now, how do you do this? This is easy. 4 on the where? Which axis? X or Y? Y? X. Because A represents the which? X? X intercept. Right? Right? So there's my X intercept at 4. Everybody okay with that? Where's my Y intercept then? Raise your hand. Where do I go? Cammy? 2 and 10 is your y-intercept? Oh, 0, 10. Yeah, 0, 10. There you go. 0, 10. Isn't that the y-coordinate? That's where the y-intercept, that's where the line hits the y-axis. Isn't that right, guys? So guess what? All I have to do is then draw the line. Now, how many points do you need to draw a line? 2. Do I have 2 points? Yeah, that's why it's called graphing using the intercept. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I could, I don't even have a ruler. There you go. Any questions? Do you think you could do this for your homework tonight?
Yes.
You think so? All right. Well, before we do that on our homework, why don't you try this yourself then?
Okay.
Go ahead. Everybody try.
Okay.
Example. What is this? Example 4. Everybody say this time. This time I'm not gonna say anything. Okay. And I'm gonna give you. I would like you to do this all by yourself. Okay. Watch this. Try it. 2x plus 5y equals to -10. Instruction is to graph using intercepts. Now, how come, guys? Listen. How come I don't say find the intercepts on this? How come all I say is graph using intercepts? Yes. Raise your hand. Shh. Yes. Yeah, you have to find the intercepts, right, Haston?
Yeah.
You have to find the intercepts in order to graph them using intercepts. So I don't have to say, oh, find the intercept or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of the same thing as before. Everybody try. Go ahead. Did you all start with this? This is the most important thing. X-intercept is what? Comma what? A, comma 0. What is the y-intercept?
0, B.
Thank you. Okay, then do the one on the left. Okay, go ahead, everybody. Anybody need more time, by the way? Okay. I'll give you more time. Okay, so how many people plug in here 2 comma something plus 5 equals -10? How many people plug in this correctly? A and 0? Like that? Raise your hand. Good. If you didn't, sit down. Okay, if you got it, keep